and welcome to My Gal the Zombie FX. Today's look is gonna be super sweet. I entered a bloody murder contest and you had to do a look that was the murderer and a murderee. Murderee. It's probably a word for it, right? So I decided to have some historical fiction fun and I decided to do Vlad, the Impaler. I also did a look of the victim, or the impaled, so make sure to check that out in the video that I put up hopefully soon about it. Hooray! And before the video starts, I'd love to solicit you to please subscribe and check out my other videos, and after you watch it, if you like it, please leave a like or a comment. Let me know what I'm doing right or wrong. I'd love to keep making these videos for you, and I would like to make them better, so let me know. And now a little backstory on the V-Man. This sexy Captain Hook-looking mother was born around 1430 in Sighișoara and managed to be a Romanian prince not once, not twice, but thrice in his lifetime. Opinions of Vlad range drastically depending on who you ask. Some believe he was a blood-drinking tyrannical leader who ruled with a red-hot iron stake up your ass. Others, especially in Romania, see his tactics as a necessary evil to punish rapists and criminals and to maintain control in a more vicious era. But one thing is definitely for sure, the dude seriously loved to impale people. Like, he'd be impaling people left and right, and there's even stories of him impaling little rats, and even a donkey.
I think I need a hug.
Other than helping to change the course of Romanian history, his most enduring influence in society's mind is in his vampire form. No, not that sexy hunk of angst. 'Tis Bram Stoker's Dracula. Easily the most famous bloodsucker of all time, the sophisticated monster will always hold a place in our hearts and secretly make us think Transylvania is mostly full of creepy castles that have never-ending streams of bats coming out of them. I want to go to there. So now you understand a little bit more about Vlad, from man to monstrous myth. So if you're ready, let the blood suckage begin. But not really, we're just gonna paint. No blood sucking. Starting with a clean face, I am going to use the Urban Decay Complexion Prep Spray B6 and not get it in my hair. So I'm just using CoverGirl Concealer and Kim Kardashian foundation, but just use whatever works for you and matches your skin tone to put a base coat down. And then I'm using Mehron White to outline all the wrinkles and just put everything where I want it to be. And I use white first just so I can erase it if I mess up. It's a lot easier to erase white than other colors. Every once in a while you're gonna see me crack up because I'm watching a Futurama thing and it's making me laugh. So I'm paying special attention to the features like the brow and the nose and the chin and the lips and just the areas that I want to make look more masculine. Vlad had some model-like cheekbones, so I just had to put those in there. And don't forget the epic mustachio. Now here's the point of our story where I thought I heard a door open and close really close, which I thought was my front door. So I have to make a decision. Is it a murderer or is it my dogs? I'm gonna be the girl in the horror movie that goes and checks it out, but I'm bringing a knife. And this is my reaction when I think I hear someone come into my house. Ladies, keep a knife by you when you're doing makeup. And with danger thwarted, back to the outlining. Now I'm basing the clothing just off of that reference picture that you saw earlier in the video. Now I'm using the NYX Cream Highlight and Contour Palette, and I'm going to use the highlight to go ahead and put in all the spots that are raised up. And moving on to the contour color in the palette and using that to define all my wrinkles. Now I'm just going through and using this sponge to kind of blend it out a little bit and make it look more naturelle. I don't know why I say words weird, I'm sorry about that. I'd say I'd stop, but I don't want to lie to you. The ladies' man is taking form. And then basically just putting in all the same colors that I did on the face onto the neck area. Using the adorable Urban Decay Naked 2 mini palette and using the cover to primal to undone order. That's how I'm shading these wrinkles and such. Just starting with the lighter color and going into the darker colors and just kind of playing with it until it looks right. And just adding on a little powder to help the blending. And starting to darken up that eye a little bit at a time because you really want to have that haven't slept in almost 600 years kind of look. Now I'm using the Mehron Paradise AQ Red Black and using that to fill in the eyebrows and give them that countess vampirish flair. And going even darker on the eyes yet again. And just adding a couple little wrinkle lines with the black. They should be pretty subtle. So the way Vlad's eyes are, they look pretty round and a little bulbousy. So I wanted to make sure that the inside corner and the outside corner of the eye were nice and dark, and that top lid part would be light to make it just look more round and bulbousy. Just going back through with the highlighter and a little bit of white to touch up those points that are supposed to be a little bit higher. Now the fun part where we get to fill in the mustache. And just adding a teensy bit of black paint and blending on the corners of the eyes to make it an even deeper illusion. On a side note, I was looking at clip art and I typed in the word sinister and that came up. I don't know why that's happening to me. And then you use your Mehron metallic gold powder with the mixing liquid to start filling in the color. This stuff right here, just in case you didn't know. And you're also going to use it to fill in the buttons on the shirt, dress, vest, whatever it is. And then moving on to Mehron Paradise AQ Red. And this is what red looks like. And I'm using the Lagoon blue, also in Mehron, to just put a little undercoat of color on the fur vest. And I don't know about you, but I always see blue in fur, so I went ahead and did that. Then just using small strokes of the black paint, you're gonna go ahead and put down the main base of the fur shawl. This may look tedious, but don't worry, it is. And then up around the collar area, I'm making it a little bit darker just because I think there would be a shadow there. Then after that black dries, go ahead and take a white coat and do even smaller lines, if you have a smaller brush, of white all over the fur. And that will help it get highlight and dimension and look a little bit more like fur. And you want to be a little bit more sporadic with your white. You don't want to put it as solid. And then with just a little bit of black on a pretty dry brush, I go ahead and put in some V-shaped dimensions in there, and that's just to help it look even more like real fur. And then just outlining and putting the shading into the collar. And then just repeat on the other side. Now I'm adding the black paint shading onto the collar and everywhere that there would be a shadow because there's some separation between the materials. I hope that makes sense. Adding on the wrinkles onto the tunic thingy madooger and just using the black paint to do that. And using white paint to just add some highlights onto the wrinkles and make them look even more wrinkled. Imagine. And I'm using white paint to add the hairs onto the mustache and using black paint afterwards just to separate out the white a little bit and make it look more real. And just adding a thin line of white onto the top and bottom eyelid just to make it that round shaped even more. So the buttons are supposed to be gold basically, so I wanted to just put some shadow in there and some pattern. So I used the black and just the darker eyeshadows to do that. and then put some white highlight onto the areas that should be risen, like always. And putting in those accentuating contours onto these sharp cheekbones, making them even darker so they stand out a lot. I added a line of dark shadow on the bottom lip just to change the shape a little bit and make it more masculine. And that white highlight just again helps the shape change a little bit. And I started trying to add shadow onto the top lip and realized I should just paint it black where the mustache ends. And then I found a lamp and I put it under my face and I made funny faces in the mirror. And adding on a little light pink onto the bottom lip and a little white highlight. For his crown, I made it out of craft board like always, and I just bobby pinned it into the wig. And Vlad is ready to go murder people and fly into the night. So there you have it, Vlad the Impaler. Started out human, but history will always remember him as a bloodthirsty vampire. Hooray! Accuracy. Thanks so much for stopping by and watching my video. If you liked it, make sure to check out the other stuff I have posted. Make sure to comment, like, subscribe, and all that fun stuff. All the cool kids are doing it, and that's just what I've heard. You can always find me at MyGalTheZombieFX on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And if you like horror hosting, you can always look at my program, My Gal the Zombie, here on YouTube or at mygalthezombie.com. I hope to see you next time. Until then, remember, there's always a place under my bed, just for you. Da, Marcy, you're so nasty.